to the best betting show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Week 7 over-unders to bet. Let's get this money. We're going in reverse order. Let's get to the first game. Monday Night Football. We got the Los Angeles Chargers at the Arizona Cardinals. Over under 43.5. I'm going over. I think the Zona offense has to put up or shut up. And they've been an inefficient offense. Kyler Murray's been terrible in the pocket. I do think they're able to get something going, but there isn't a lot of science. It's just blind hope at this point. When you have two good wide receivers, when you have a borderline elite tight end, you think you would get something going, and you got a Chargers team that is banged up. They're banged up offensively. They're banged up defensively. But one thing we know about the Chargers, and in this matchup, I think they're going to move the ball because this Arizona front seven is soft like jelly. And we know what the Chargers want to do. They want to get in power formations. They want to pound you with Dobbins, and they want to hit you with play action. I think we see a surprising high-scoring game over the 43.5. The reason why this isn't a money pick is because we just don't know what we're going to see out of Kyler Murray at this point. I mean, we just don't, man. Next game, other Monday night game. We got the Baltimore Ravens at the Tampa Bay Bucks. Over under 49.5. Money, money, money. Money, give me the over. I get it. We do think this Ravens defense will get better. I don't know if they're going to be as good as last year. It seems like a hope and a dream for them to evolve. And you're looking at a Bucs offense. You add the running game with Bucky, and then you add these two thoroughbreds on the outside, and you have Baker Mayfield playing well. It's hard to imagine this game not turning into a shootout. It's tough to imagine with the emergence of King Henry with the Ravens that this Ravens offense isn't going to be more potent. Look at Zay Flowers. He was our best player prop of the week. He might have had his best game in a Ravens jersey against the Washington No-Names. I got this going over. I think it's going to turn into a shootout. I think Baker plays well. I think Lamar plays well. Next game, we got the Kansas City Chiefs at the San Francisco 49ers. Over, under 47. I have an under. But this is more so because I wonder what the Chiefs are going to do at wide receiver. I wonder what this Chiefs offense will do. Like, we're probably not going to have Pacheco. We're not going to have Rashee Rice. I know Andy Reid on a bye week, what is he, like 20-2, something crazy like that. And you got a 49ers defense that outside of Bosa, outside of Warner, are there any difference makers? Are there any playmakers? But I'm going under just based off game flow. I think it'll be a playoff atmosphere. I think it'll be extremely physical. I'm going under the 47. Next game, we got the Carolina Panthers. Dalton at the Washington No-Names. Over, under 52. Over. Money, money, money. Borderline because 52's awful high. 52's awful high, but I got to tell you what, man. This Panthers defense is the worst in football. They're decimated by injuries. The scheme's not great. You got J.C. Horn in the back, but other than that, are there any difference makers? And then we got Jaden Daniels just playing at an extreme level. I felt like the kid was excellent against the Ravens, and this is going to be an easy challenge. It doesn't seem like Carolina can stop the run. They're also not stopping the pass well. And I just wonder, Jaden Daniels on read option, on play action, how are they going to stop them? On the other side of the ball, you got a Washington front seven that, listen, there's not going to be any Allen. I think he's going to be out for maybe the whole year. So when you look at that, you got to think Chuba Hubbard's going to get going, and that opens up the play action for Dalton. I'm going over the 52, make it a money pick. The more I think about it, the more I like it. It's just tiptoe on eggshells because 52 is awful high for an Andy Dalton Carolina team. But if you look at that Carolina film against the Falcons, that offense was pretty proficient, man. Next game, we got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Los Angeles Rams. Over, under 43.5. Money, 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 borderline once again, because I'm going over the 43. I don't love this. I don't love the fundamentals of it. Aiden O'Connell, that was a big part of me putting the Steelers on Patreon. When I see Aiden O'Connell, I run the other way. I know Minshew's not all that great. Like, Minshew obviously has his issues, but Aiden O'Connell just isn't good enough to play quarterback in this league, and he shouldn't be sniffing the position. But with that being said, I see a Raiders team that, man, they're on the ropes. And I don't think it's a rope-a-dope like Muhammad Ali. I think they're on the ropes, and there's just one punch to push this team over the edge and quit. Like, we saw players quit already for the Raiders against the Panthers. And I think the Rams, McVay off a bye week, they're going to get to the 30s. So Aiden O'Connell only needs to put up 14 points to cover this. I absolutely love the over. The fundamentals are not great, like I said, but I feel like we have to roll the dice a little bit with this one. Next game, we got the Philadelphia Eagles. Hurts at the New York Giants. Over, under 43. When you say Daniel Jones, I say under. Man, maybe I'm thinking too simplistic here, but I really respect this Giants defense. I really respect Daboll's play design on offense. I just don't respect Daniel Jones. And I know this Eagles defense isn't anything to write home about. We know the safety position, secondary, you can get at them. It's just like, I know Malik Neighbors is coming back, but do we trust Daniel Jones to fully exploit it? Like, I see this game being similar to the Eagles-Saints game earlier in the year. I'm going under the 43. I do wonder, are we going to see some sort of response from this Eagles offense? I do think it was a little bit overblown. I don't think the performance was as bad as people were saying against the Browns. Like, I think people just weren't putting any respect on the Browns' name, but still, the Eagles' offense is stuttering. Let's be realistic about it. Next game, we got the Detroit Lions, Dan Campbell, at the Minnesota Vikings. Over, under 50.5. Money, money, money. Money. Under. Absolutely love the under. You say bye week, you give me Brian Flores, I'm in. And you give me this Detroit offense, like, I get the matchup. What this Detroit offense does well is they pound the ball down your throat and they hit you in submission. Then they hit you at play action, and we're seeing the emergence of Jamison Williams, and it's been absolutely fantastic to watch. Just ask Jerry Jones and his meltdown. But I do think the Vikings will have some answers on defense. I also think the Sunshine Sam Darnold hero arc is fading a little bit. We saw cracks in it against the New York Jets, and you know what you're going to get from Aaron Glenn. You're going to get tight man-to-man. They're going to get up and press people. There's going to be doubles on Jefferson, and you do wonder, is Sam Darnold going to be able to do it? Is the Vikings' run game going to be active in the first half like it has been? The Lions are really hard to run it against. That's really the strength of their defense. Like, I get that Aiden Hutchinson's out. I do think that will give Sam a little bit more opportunity. But with this being said, I think it's going to be a playoff game. I think it's going to be a smash mouth game. I don't think it's going to be a game for the spectacle guys. I don't think it's going to be the shootout that NFL so desires in 2024. I think it's going to be physical. I think it might get a little bit ugly here, might get a little bit chippy. I'm going under the 50.5. Make it a damn money pick. Next game, we got the Miami Dolphins at the Indianapolis Colts. Over, under 43.5. I'm going over. My bad on the Tuesday video. I saw Ian Rappaport announce that Flacco was going to be the starter Monday night. And normally Rap Sheet doesn't miss. And he missed bad on this. We're going to get Anthony Richardson, and I'm not hating it. I'm not going to criticize it. But it does make this a little bit questionable. It does make this move to not a lot of science. And with this Dolphins offense, are they going to be a dance partner? Are they going to be better? Is Mike McDaniel going to make the play design better? Are they going to stick to the run? How is Snoop Huntley going to play? I mean, those are all questions that I don't have the answers to. I'm going over the 43.5. Next game, we got the Houston Texans at the Green Bay Packers. Over, under 47.5. I'm going under. Now, this one is extremely interesting because this can easily turn into a shootout. I respect both defenses. I love D'Amico. I'm happy that Joe Barry is no longer calling plays for the Packers defense. But I'm going under here, and I think there's going to be a lot of running the football. Matt LaFleur's made that quite clear. He wants this to be a run-first offense, hit him with the play action with love. And I also think that's the direction the Texans are going. I do think Stroud will cook in this game. I do think he'll make big plays. I do think Stephon Diggs will have a big game. But with that being said, I'm going under the 47.5. Next game, we got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Cleveland Browns. Over, under 41.5. Money, money, money. Money. I'm going under. Make it a damn money pick. And when these teams match up, it's extremely physical, firstly. Secondly, listen, the Browns season's probably done. As long as you have Deshaun Watson as a quarterback, it's probably done. The offensive line is getting healthier for the Browns. It looks like we'll be seeing Nick Chubb. So I think that provides a little bit of inspiration for the offense. But I do think the Bengals figured some things out. It was against Daniel Jones, but I do think that defense will make strides. I don't think they're going to be like a bottom 5 unit in the league. I do think that was a bit dramatic. But also, I do wonder about this Bengals offense. They stuttered against a good Giants defense. And as bad as the Browns have been, I still respect this Browns defense. I'm going under the 41.5. A mix of Deshaun, a mix of Burrow getting hit, a mix of Myles Garrett going off. I'm going under the 41.5. Next game, get on Patreon, $5 a month, link in the description. We got the Tennessee Titans at the Buffalo Bills. Over, under 41. I actually really like this over 41. I mean, do I want to bet it? Would I advise anyone to bet it? Probably not. No, I would not. But you got to think this Tennessee offense has to respond. And this Bills defense has been absolutely magnificent. There's no other words for it. The safety play with DeMar Hamlin and Rapp. But I also think this Titans defense is getting tired. I do think they're phenomenal. I do think they're undervalued in the market. But there's only so much you can take. And when you mix in Will Levis, unless we get Mason Rudolph, which it doesn't look like we're getting that, if you mix in Will Levis, you mix in turnovers. What do turnovers do? They equal points for the other side. I'm going over the 41. Next game, we got the Seattle Seahawks at the Atlanta Falcons. Over, under 51. I'm going under. But there is no science. I guess my question is, are we going to see any defense from either one of these teams? You know, Mike McDonald gets hired to be head coach of the Seahawks because he was an excellent defensive coordinator with the Ravens. They make a trade for a good defensive tackle from the Jags, and maybe that improves the Seahawks' run defense. It certainly needs to improve because Atlanta's coming to town, the two-headed monster with Algiers and Bijan. But I'm going under here because I also think this Falcons defense is going to get better. One of the shocks of this year, and I got a Falcons ticket to win the NFC South. I'm not nervous, but one of the shocks of this year for me has been Raheem Morris and just the unraveling and the lack of competitiveness from this Falcons defense. I'm going under. I think both defenses will get stops. I mean, they got to get some stops eventually, right? Next game, we got the New England Patriots, Drake, at the Jacksonville Jags. Over, under 42.5. I'm going over. I really like it. It's just hard to pull the trigger because Lawrence has been tragic. Drake May doesn't have a lot around him. The Patriots really can't block. But also, one thing we're finding out about the Patriots, they're not playing a hell of a lot of defense. And I do think the Jags will have some answers. I do think they'll look better on offense. I mean, if you think about it, the Jags still have a lot of talent on that offensive side. But I also think Drake May will provide spark this game. Do I think people were getting overly optimistic about his performance against the Texans? Absolutely. But there were some signs. I just think Drake May's able to make plays. There's not a lot of science. And also, how motivated are the Jags? And there's talent on this Jags defense, especially on the front four. You got Walker, you got Hines Allen. But my question is, how motivated are they? And what is this Jags defense going to do? I just can't see them responding. I'm going over the 42.5. Let's get to Thursday. We got the Denver Broncos at the New Orleans Saints. Over, under 37. I'm going with surprised over. Listen, this Broncos offense has had just far too many pre-snap penalties. And with Drake May holding the ball too long, it's just been an absolutely toxic combination. But I do think Sean Payton will have things in his bag against the Saints defense that is reeling. It completely went off the rails against Tampa Bay, and I know this is a lighter challenge, but I'm still concerned. On the other side, you got Spencer Rattler, and I felt like he played very good in a hard circumstance against the Bulls defense that will rain zone blitzes up your ass. I do think both quarterbacks play better than advertised. I'm going over the 37. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. The best gambling show on the internet. Slam that like button. Share the videos. I appreciate everyone hitting the like button and sharing them. You guys have been phenomenal this week. Let's get this money. Live call-in show Friday, 6 p.m. Prop show will be up Friday during the day. Let's get this money, boys.